Hi guys, and welcome to tonight's event in partnership with Arc'teryx here at Ellis Brigham. My name's Leonie and I'm going to be your host tonight. And today we're going to be chatting to Italian freeride skier, instructor, Arc'teryx athlete, filmmaker, it's Silvia Moser. We're going to be discussing skiing, of course, her new film, Four Elements, which we'll be showing afterwards, and also the concept of outer peace, which is Arc'teryx's campaign to help everyone experience the transformative power of nature. Based in the Dolomites, Silvia first made her name for herself back in 2015 when she came second during her rookie season at the Freeride World Tour. Since then, she's based herself in the heart of the Dolomites where she's grown up and spends her time as a ski instructor and helping her family business. When she's off, she's out there exploring the wilderness in all of its forms whenever she can, be it skiing, highlining, climbing. She does it all. It's amazing. And now, Silvia has recently released a new film called Four Elements, which we have the pleasure of exclusively screening tonight after this interview. And we'll also be getting an exclusive introduction by Silvia herself about the meaning and intention of the film. So without further ado, let's get this interview on the road. Yeah. So hi Silvia, how are you?
Hi there. I'm good. Thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm great, thank you. So where are you joining us from today?
So I'm in my house in Cortina d'Ampezzo in the Dolomites, Italy.
Brilliant. Has there been snow there yet?
Yeah, it's been actually snowing quite good, but there has been a lot of wind also, which destroys our fun or our safety, let's say. So we'll see how it gets the next days.
Yeah, makes sense. So I guess if we kind of like roll it back a tiny bit, and would you potentially be able to just introduce yourself to those who may not have already heard of you and give us a brief overview of your background and what you're up to nowadays?
Yeah. So I'm Silvia Moser. I'm a professional skier from Italy, and I've been competing in the World Tour, in the Freeride World Tour, for a couple of years, and then I just decided to continue my way exploring the world and the mountains by myself, like let's say more by myself. And now I'm also working in my parents' business, which is a totally different thing from the mountains, from my passions. And so then I have more my free time to enjoy outside.
Brilliant. That sounds fantastic. So I guess if we kind of roll it back, where did it all start for you in terms of skiing and starting to explore the outdoors?
So skiing for me started when I was very little because I live in a mountain place. If you don't know where it is, so I started at like 2 3 years old skiing. Then I've been skiing ever since then. I did alpine skiing races until I was 16. Then I became ski instructor when I was 19 years old. I worked also as a ski instructor a few years, and then I jumped into the freeride world and started enjoying those kind of competitions. And then it was maybe too much of competition world in my life, so at some point I decided it was enough.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I guess so you did go into that kind of competition scene for a bit, didn't you?
Yeah.
And I guess you kind of positioned out of the kind of the competition side of things. Do you think that was a natural progression on your side?
To going out, you say?
Yeah, so kind of focusing more on like yourself as a ski instructor and just going out into the mountains instead of kind of most probably focusing in on like winning those competitions.
Yeah, so for me, well, I'm very competitive inside since I've always been in that kind of reality, let's say. And when I entered in the freeride competitions, actually, it was a very nice kind of habitat to know everyone, like new people, and to explore new mountains. But actually, I found that for the real essence of free riding, the competitions didn't fit quite well, and also because they took a lot of out of your winter, and so I just wanted kind of to be where the good snow was, and sometimes we weren't on that place. So so I decided I wanted to put an end word to the competitions for me, and just enjoy skiing for what it is.
Yeah, so when you're out in the mountains now, where is your head at? Are you out there kind of pushing limits and searching for new lines, or are you more about just kind of grounding yourself in the experience and going out with your friends?
Let's say I'm a bit of both. It depends. More the second one sometimes, because I I really enjoy being in the mountains with other people and sharing. I think skiing is a lot about sharing our experience with others, or even if they're not on the same level. There's so much room for everyone in skiing, and that's what I really like. But of course, there are some dream peaks or dream lines that I have in mind, or that I had in mind, which I still have the, let's say, the push to go for it.
Yeah. Are you able to share some of your dream peaks with us now?
Well, there are a few lines here in the Dolomites, actually, and but most of all, the other mountains, like, there are mostly trips, like skiing in Georgia, which I hope it will happen this year, maybe without restrictions, or also exploring more towards the east side of, like, also the Balkans are very calling my attention. So it's more about exploring new places and the cultures, because also that link is very important to me.
Yeah, so I think like Georgia as a region as well is like really opening up in the last few years. I think it's getting like more accessible to like climbers and skiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting the way that you touch on trying to like integrate into the culture as well. I think that really kind of helps with the experience, doesn't it? And
Mhm.
local knowledge as well of finding new lines.
Yeah, I think it gets everything more rich and more full, because if you just go in the mountains, it's like half of the experience, from what I think. And there's a lot of how people live there, how they go to the mountains, and what they feel when they go in the mountains, and why they do it. So, yeah.
So I guess obviously we're here at Ellis Brigham. We love talking kit as well. Obviously, I know you have a background as a ski instructor, so I don't know if you have like your favorite kind of ski setup that you want to share with us. Kind of like what is your go-to ski setup at the moment?
But for skiing, like, you mean like ski teaching, or off-piste skiing? Like, because
What is your
okay,
favorite?
so what I do, so well, I ski for Atomic, so I really love the Ben Chetler 120. I think it's a very super fun ski to play everywhere around when there's good conditions. Like last winter here in the Dolomites, we had an amazing winter. Lifts weren't going, so just ski touring. And I was always using that one, even if it's quite big and heavy, but it was super fun just to have that one. Or I really like the Backland series. And here in the Dolomites, there's very different terrain, also couloirs and steep terrain, so that really fits super good. And with 80K bindings, which are light, and but they are strong. And yeah, that's my ski setup.
But so obviously, in terms of your kind of your clothing kit as well? Do you have like a top layering system?
Yeah, well, besides the base layer, which it depends, either like more synthetically, or if it's more like long tours or merino. It's also very good for long cold days. I always wear a proton jacket behind my shell jacket, and if it's even more cold, I on top of my proton I wear a serum, lightweight duffy jacket, and then always the shell on top, and the
Yeah, sounds like
shashka
a good.
pants. Yeah, the ones which have a little of bit of bib, which cover my belly and my back. It's super nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's kind of turn this around again. So we're here today as part of Arc'teryx's push called Out of Peace, which is a campaign trying to promote the benefits of the outdoor environment to us all and making it more accessible to everybody out there. I was just wondering if you can kind of describe what the mountains mean to you and any feeling of belonging it gives to you.
Okay, so well, as I said before, I grew up in a mountain village, and so they are around my house, the mountains. So it's really a very big playground, and I think so. I really can't stay without going outside, even if, like, not just going extremely on a climb or on a ski tour, just like maybe going outside for a walk in the trees, in the forest. It just gives me a bit of peace, really. And if you have thoughts, they disappear or they become more clear, or um, yeah. And I found my best relationships with also friends out in nature, because we yeah, there's a very big space to connect all different aspects of people, different people coming from different places and different cultures and different environments, different everything. And when you're out there, you're all together sharing everything. And yeah, I really can't be without it.
Yeah. And obviously you've worked as a ski instructor in the past, so this much probably resonates for you more than most. But do you think that there is a place for everybody in the outdoors, and do you think we can do more to make the outdoors accessible to everyone?
Yeah, I think there is place for everyone. And I think sometimes also, uh, like in the last few years, also with social media, which people tend maybe to show just crazy or difficult or unapproachable things. They have created this idea that maybe it's not very accessible, but I think yeah, every place is open for everyone. It's just about getting a bit of knowledge from people, because yeah, you can go out in the mountains without knowing where you are, what you do, and how you do some things. I mean, I'm not speaking about the walk in the forest, but more like going to ski, or climbing, or also doing some via ferrata, which here we have plenty. So you still have to get a bit of knowledge, but everyone, I mean, life is a knowledge process, so everyone can learn, and we should all be wanting to learn more if we can.
Definitely. And again, like you say, you're a local of the Dolomites, and I guess as part of your personal life and your professional life, have you seen the impact of climate change affecting the environment, and has this affected the way that you're approaching skiing and the environment around you nowadays?
Yeah, well, we definitely can see it. I mean, I'm not that old to know like I'm 31 years old, so but we can, like, here in the Dolomites in the last few years it's been very weird. Like, besides last winter, which we had a very good winter and also cold, before it was very uh, warm and like I remember when I was more little, when we used to do alpine races. I used to start skiing here on the slopes for training in like mid-November latest. Now like I see the kids starting at the end of November if everything is good and if there's the good weather and cold temperatures and a bit of snow. So that for sure has changed. Me personally, I try to travel a bit less if I can to ski. I mean, if there's snow here, I just stay here because I think it's the best place to be, of course. But but yeah, I try to move as less as I can the car, and I don't use the lifts too much. I mean, just if it's very needed, or and I have a very like also on how I eat or what I buy. I try to be more ethical. So I mean, every little thing can do something. So um, I do my best.
I think that's the main thing, isn't it? As long as you're, acknowledging that there's areas that you can change in like your behavior, it all adds up just that little bit, and it can make us more conscious and mindful of what we're doing. I guess if you could sum up what outer peace means to you, how would you describe it?
Yeah. So okay. So for me, outer peace means that kind of when it snows, then there's less sound, less noisy sound. Everything is more muffled. So when I'm outside, I get that feeling, and that's my outer peace, to feel connected with myself and not and being able to extend myself from everything else outside.
So obviously the other reason we're here today is to discuss your new film, Four Elements.
Yeah.
So I've had the pleasure of watching it earlier today, and it's an incredible film. It's so grounding in a way that it explores all the different kind of elements in the environment. Um, I was just wondering if you could tell us, where did the initial idea for the film come from?
Okay, so it came from actually after, well, in the spring of 2020, everyone in the world has been hit by this new pandemic of COVID. And here in Italy, actually, we had the most strict lockdown of every country, I think, because at some point we weren't even allowed to leave our house rather than like 250 meters. So, and it was super good weather. It was still winter time because it was March. So there was very good snow in the mountains. And it was such a, like a knife in the heart to be locked in at home. And after that lockdown, which lasted 2 months almost, we also speaking with other people, um, like I realized how much everyone took, and also myself, we took for granted how much just going outside for a 5 minutes walk did good for us. Like did something brought us something good in our bodies, in our head, in everything, in our mood. So I wanted to kind of give this reflection to people again and show uh, that we are deeply connected with nature and that everything outside it's just for our well-being. And if also people acknowledge this more, maybe we can also be a bit better on the environment, which is uh, being in trouble right now. So I asked myself, how could I actually um, uh, could I be understood on on the message that I wanted to bring to people? And I decided to use kind of the natural elements that we are made of and are present, also are very visible outside. We can see in ourselves, but they are also present in ourselves, since every non-traditional culture believes. So I decided to dig in my personal thoughts on what each element means to me, what I feel that like it gives to myself, and what I can reconnect to the outside and what I see outside of this element. So the best way to describe also my feelings were through my passions. And well, my biggest passions is skiing, but I also love climbing or also highlining, and there's also a little part of highline in the movie because it gets very well the message of the earth element, I think, because it's to me, the earth element, it says, it speaks about being grounded and rooted, and also the stability that we have. And it's a funny way to put it on like on a walk in a rope, but it's in when you do that, it's the feeling that you have is actually uh, the feeling from the earth, like that I just explained.
Yeah, the highlining scene was like incredible. I mean, like you say, it really does bring into the concept of the earth because whilst you're up in the sky, so it's almost the air as an element as well. But yeah, you're so grounded at the same time. You're truly kind of in the elements, as it were. So that part was like very visually stunning as well.
Thanks.
Was there out of the kind of different scenes and elements that you tried to portray, what was your favorite aspect to shoot?
Of the movie. Well, actually, and I have to say this because also I teamed up with Lucas Scheffer, which was my filmer, and he's also an athlete, so he's a very good skier, and he did everything by himself. So it was only me and him, and some friends helping us sometimes. Um, I loved actually everything of it. We also crashed a drone at some point, or we had also our accidents, but it was really nice because actually it was filmed all here in the Dolomites, very around my house, so really close to here. And this past winter, so and it was a very incredible winter in snow condition terms, and everything was closed because we were still in a kind of lockdown here, so the lifts were not going, people from outside were not allowed to come here, so it was a very unique time, very free from everything, and snow everywhere. We could go everywhere, and there were no tracks, so it was a very big gift, actually.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess that kind of wraps this up in terms of our conversation. Obviously, now we're going to show your film Four Elements. Um, I'll hand it over to you, Sylvia, to introduce the film and what Four Elements represents to you.
Okay, so I hope you enjoy the movie, and I hope you understand the message behind it. To me, it means a lot because um, yeah, I used my passion to describe it, but I think they're just a background, because the real meaning of this movie is to show how beautiful outside is and how we are very connected with it, with every element that is part of us. And so I hope you enjoy it, and you can get to go outside and share your thoughts on this as well.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Sylvia. It's been great speaking to you.
Thank you. I hope you guys enjoy. With our feet on the ground, we travel through our home. The primary needs of us habitants are all the same. The things we see is what we are, and what we feel is what we become. The earth is our playground. By feeling our roots, stable like mountains, we find our balance. Smooth and adaptable, water flows in our bodies and in rivers. A change of shape, it goes through every corner to regenerate, transform to its most beautiful form. We, the inhabitants of the earth, are water, following its path by letting ourselves go, making space to our deep emotions, like the sun making space for the night. Our desires, our dreams, they crackle inside us like a living fire. Our light grows with our conquers. It is our power to transform what we feel and what we are and what we become. Like the birds in the air, we are free to move and to change directions. To fill up spaces with our ideas and thoughts. It is this freedom that we breathe every second, every day. these natural elements. They are part of us as they are part of the outside.